Hey, what up? So usually I shoot on a proper set and with a proper camera and a proper mic, but I wanted to get my initial reaction of the news I just read that Greta Van Susteren is out at MSNBC. Now, if you haven't been following what's been going on, she was just hired like a month ago. Her show just started. She was I think she had the 6 p.m. slot. Her show just started. So, I mean, she literally just tweeted out this news, so I haven't seen anything else about it. I don't understand what happened here. I've been saying it's ridiculous that MSNBC hired her to begin with, but I'm kind of speechless because this is not the typical move that MSNBC or these big networks do. They usually give these guys and girls at least a few months to try to get a show up and running and try to get some ratings. But something I've reported on before, and I assume has continued to happen, is MSNBC would see a dip in ratings when her show came on. So everything would be going along fine, dip in ratings, and then Chris Matthews and I believe Chris Hayes is after, and then Maddow, and then Lawrence, and the ratings would continue to increase until Maddow, and then it would dip a little for Lawrence. But Lawrence was number 2, Maddow's number 1, Hayes is number 3. All the most progressive voices on that network in the top 3 ratings for MSNBC. So Greta brings a more conservative view, and I mean, Greta Van Susteren isn't like a too crazy conservative. I mean, she's definitely conservative, but in terms of the spectrum that we've seen, when you include channels like Fox News in it, Greta's view isn't insane, and she would have on Republicans that may not show up on other shows on the network. So she filled the gap in that sort of sense where MSNBC maybe couldn't get John McCain to come on Rachel Maddow, but he'll show up on Greta's show. So that's kind of the gap that she filled. But maybe it's getting to the point now where it doesn't matter. And the viewers are leaving regardless. They're going online. They're seeing that there's actual, real, independent reporting happening on the internet. Because these corporations, what they do is they serve power. All their guests are people in powerful positions, and we only get the view of people that have money and have power, and we don't get to see the regular people, the little people, the people who are doing work on the ground, the small grassroots groups that are building and creating a movement and fighting for something and fighting for real policies. So it's possible that people just don't want that view anymore. They don't want the typical moderate conservative establishment view, and it's not interesting. The thing that Rachel Maddow and Lawrence and Chris Hayes bring, look, by television standards, they're progressive. By world standards and internet standards, they aren't really all that progressive. And I mean, that's not saying that personally they're not, but in terms of the content that's on television, whether it's the corporate influence that they're in, the environment that they're in, where they can't push too far, they can't question big money too much because they're kind of controlled by big money and paid by big money. In terms of that, they aren't all that progressive. But when it comes to television, they are progressive. And it shows that people actually want that sort of content. And that's why online shows like The Young Turks or the Jimmy Dore Show, Sam Cedar Show, The Humanist Report, all these different online shows, Secular Talk, all these different online progressive shows are gaining more and more and more viewers because people are craving that sort of view. And not even that sort of view, but they're craving these independent voices, these voices that aren't controlled by big money. Now, I don't know how much any of this has any effect on Greta Van Susteren, but holy crap, I mean, this isn't just crazy in terms of Greta, but just in terms of a whole, in terms of how that organization is now functioning. So if MSNBC is free to, or feels free to fire somebody after a couple months on the air, that's kind of big. That means maybe they're becoming more agile. Maybe that I don't know. It's a little nuts to me. But let me know what you think. I'm still trying to process this news, because to have someone fired off a network this soon after the show started is a big freaking deal. It's crazy. It's weird. It doesn't happen. So let me know what you think, if this has any bearing at all. If you watch MSNBC at all, maybe you don't. But in terms of just the media landscape and how that might be shifting, it could lead to more big news, and just in terms of how the network will operate from now on. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Later.